What up, gang? Welcome back to the Infamous Podcast. This is Brian.
This is Darryl. Question mark?
Question mark. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying something different. Shaking it up a little bit. This is episode 508. It's not even a milestone episode. We're just making massive wholesale changes to the show tonight. You're not even ready for it. You don't even know. Okay, so I was using ChatGPT to help with just putting the show notes together, right? And I gave it the episode title, and it says here. Oh wait, hold on. Where'd it go? Oh no, I changed it. It basically was like, he didn't hit you, he didn't bump you, he didn't he lanced you, and lancing is jousting, and it's like, what awesomely perverse dad joke.
Yeah.
What?
That's all I'm going to say about that.
I'm just saying, Robert Duvall died. My favorite line of Robert Duvall's extensive catalog of film is, he didn't hit you, didn't bump you, he didn't nudge you, he rubbed you, and rubbing, son, is racing.
No. Charlie don't serve.
That's a good one too. Although I do like the one with the movie he did with Michael Caine and Haley Joel Osment, the Secondhand Lions or whatever, where he's like, I've killed men on 4 continents and lost a dozen fortunes and loved exactly one woman, and then threatens to kill the kid. And it's like, God, fuck yeah, Robert fucking Duvall, let's go.
And there's also, love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but still.
Smells like victory.
Yeah.
Or
victory.
For whatever reason, it popped in my head. Some people say you killed a man.
It sounds like a
that was from The Natural.
Yeah, it sounds like was it a teenage Lawrence Fishburne? Apocalypse Now. Anyway, so yeah, but Darryl, before we get started, the New York Football Giants are making moves, and it's exciting. Tyreek Hill got cut from the Dolphins yesterday, and all these people in my chat were like, "Oh, we should get Tyreek Hill." It's like, no. And then Brand put out a video today. He's like, "Oh yeah, he's on a broken leg, just like Patrick Mahomes." So anyway, but yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm ready for the draft. Actually, I'm super ready for the draft. I'm excited. But yeah, so this week we're obviously talking about Robert Duvall. We're going to talk about the Warner Brothers Skydance kerfluffle merger for, what is it, the 4th time? And then we're going to close out with the penultimate episode of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms.
That sounds like a plan.
All right, let's go ahead and as the kids say, do this. And yeah, so Robert Duvall passed away on the 15th. Today is the 18th. He was born January 5th, 1931, died February 15th. He was 95 years old. And I'm not sure if I'm ready for him to be gone, because he was such a prolific actor for the entirety of our lives.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's one of my favorite sports movie of all time is The Natural, and he was in that, and that was from 1984. So
right. Oh yeah.
I learned about Robert Duvall earlier on. I didn't, some of the other stuff, like when I was mentioning Apocalypse Now and our quotes, like obviously I didn't see that until much later down the road.
Your dad didn't let you watch that when you were a little kid.
So, but yeah, I mean, he's been, again, and there's probably so much stuff of his in the older stuff that I might not even know about.
Yeah.
I was just bringing up his IMDb because I was thinking, okay, what other things was he in? I mean, of old stuff that
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, again, the guy's been prolific actor, amazing actor. He
Yeah.
was. He's honestly he's one of those. I don't know anything about him from a personal standpoint,
Yeah, and I like
other
that.
than and I know that's
So
that's something
I
I
think he
do
was like
like.
married to the same lady like his whole life, but like yeah. So he was in Falling Down.
Yes, I love that movie.
So who is Defense? We got to find this Defense character. Yeah, no, it's just he's the Natural, obviously. Days of Thunder, obviously.
Yeah.
Apocalypse Now, The Godfather. It's just he goes all the way back to 1960 with is his
Gone in
first
60,
IMDb credit. Yeah, Gone in 60 Seconds.
Deep
So
Impact,
yeah,
The Sixth Day, John Q.
Jack Reacher.
Oh, Gods and I forgot about that movie. Gods and Generals,
Mm-hmm.
that Civil War movie.
Yeah, I
Yeah, but
mean,
you said
yeah,
1960.
yeah. So I mean, it's a whole thing. Oh God, yeah, The Sixth Day, John Q.
Oh, I
Kicking
didn't
and
know.
dude, Kicking and Screaming with
Yeah,
Will Ferrell and Mike Ditka is great. But yeah, no, I think Secondhand Lions is like a highly underrated movie from 2003, and
I
I
forgot.
want to say it's Haley Joel Osment. I might be wrong. Yeah, no,
THX
it was.
1138. He was in
Oh
that
yeah,
too.
yeah.
The original True Grit.
Mm-hmm.
Bullet, man. Like,
Yeah,
see, that stuff like that. It's just been so long since I've seen movies, like some of these movies and stuff, and some of them I don't know if I've actually seen.
yeah.
Oh, Shane, he's it.
He
I
was in
just got
Shane.
Shane. Yeah, I got Shane a few months ago.
Oh wow.
Come back, Shane.
Did you ever watch Crazy Heart with Jeff Bridges?
No, I know the
So he's
movie. I
in
never
that.
watched.
That movie's really good. Like it's it's a biopic about the musician. But yeah, it's Bad Blake was the. It's another one though. Maggie Gyllenhaal is like the romantic lead, and it's like like really.
I mean, he was also he's in The Kill a Mockingbird
Mm-hmm.
and some great shows back in the day. The Outer Limits, Twilight Zone, The Fugitive, The Virginian. I mean, we could continue to go, down the list of stuff he's been in. But I mean, again, like I said, he's always brought it.
Yeah.
And like I said, he's in my favorite sports movie.
Mm-hmm. Days of
But
Thunder.
he's in my favorite racing movie. Well, yeah, Days of Thunder is still my favorite racing movie.
No, I mean Days of Thunder is your favorite sports movie. Come on, let's be honest.
I already said it. So, but like I mean, the guy is just a great actor,
Mm-hmm.
and again, it's nothing to be mad about. He's 95. He was 95 years
Yeah,
old. That's
he was 95. He by all means had a great life, and he gave us hours and hours and hours of escapism and entertainment, and just super quotable lines.
and like I said, I didn't know anything about him from a personal perspective.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Which is fine.
Right.
Right.
Correct, sir. Yeah. So to the Duvall estate, condolences. He will be missed.
Yes.
All right. So let's from Hollywood, I guess royalty, I think you could call him, to Hollywood shenanigans. Let's talk about what's going on. Paramount Skydance prepares to engage with Warner Brothers Discovery on takeover talks, but doesn't indicate whether it will raise the price in its hostile bid. This is from 5 hours ago in Variety. So David Ellison, will David Ellison move higher than Paramount Skydance? Their most recent $30 a share offer for Warner Brothers Discovery. All week they've been saying that they're going to go up to $31, which is like another however many billion when you look at all the stock that's there. It's insane.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It's less about that for me and more about the fact that this is this thing ever going to get done?
I mean, even when it gets done, it's going to be at least a year, maybe two, before
Right.
it's
Yeah.
actually done. And what's going on here is WBD wants Paramount Skydance to clarify your proposal, which we understand will include a WBD per share price higher than $31. Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav and a board chairman Samuel DiPiazza Jr. wrote in a letter sent to Paramount's board. Paramount continues to press its position that its $30 per share offer to Warner Brothers is in its entirety is superior to Netflix deal to acquire WB Studios and HBO Max. Yeah, because Netflix is it's not even $100 billion. It's it's weird to say, right? It's not even $100 billion.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: this is going to proxy vote. There are what are called activist investors who are trying to sway the vote each way. Just looking at it from a strict monetary standpoint, you go with Skydance because it's 30 billion more. If you're looking at it from protecting DC Comics and the prestige HBO legacy, you go with Skydance.
I don't know. Because one, yes, it's easy to say from a monetary perspective, absolutely. But that's the problem people get into. They only look at the monetary
Right.
and they're not looking down the line. It really depends because if you're talking from a movie I look at it like this. I would trust Netflix more if they were talking about shows. It's even though because I'm talking about the genre shows.
Right.
Paramount doesn't do really genre shows. Doesn't mean they can't. But Netflix has a track record of solid to very good genre shows. Netflix is hit and miss with movies. Netflix wants to, I think that's what you said a while ago, or they said that they want to do a 17-day window, which I don't know if even though I love movies, I don't know how big of a deal that is in the future as streaming gets bigger, because you have, like I said, you have movies nowadays before they 2 and 3 days before they come out, you're already being able to pre-order the Steelbook, or the 4K, or the Blu-rays. So that ship might have sailed already. Now, if you're talking, I do think Paramount, with their track record of movies, more consistency, yes, because I'm taking out the monetary thing, because that's that's that like you said, that is what it is. That's math. However, it just really depends on the game plan, I think, because if it was just like, hey, if this was just more like drama type, thriller type movies and TV shows, I would absolutely take Paramount, because look at Paramount's, just look at Paramount. Well, Paramount is basically Taylor Sheridan, so it is in and of itself. But my only concern with Netflix, and this might be wrong of me, but I see a lot of quantity on Netflix, and there's some good quality, don't get me wrong, but it's more along the lines of, let's throw a lot of this at the wall, and we're absolutely going to hit on some stuff. We're going to have stuff like One Piece. We're going to have stuff like the original Daredevil and Jessica Jones and, half of the Luke Cage, seasons. There's a lot of good stuff on Netflix, but there's also a lot of watered down stuff. And that's where more of my concern is would Netflix do what it takes? Because because Netflix is so successful, I don't necessarily see them changing the way they do things just because they would get all these new IPs. That's my question is, yes, the 30 billion could sway a lot of people, but especially when you have a case of, you just don't know. If it was clear that Netflix was the better option from a creative standpoint, I don't care about the 30 billion.
Right.
If I'm an investor, I'm like, I want to see something that's going to take us to the next level. And I don't maybe are some people thinking that with the whole streaming because again, Netflix has shown they're successful streaming. I mean, Paramount has great stuff, but their success is not in streaming yet. So that's the other thing. It's basically one of those situations where I obviously as a consumer, I want the one that's best going to take advantage of these properties. And I know I'm going to get hit in the wallet either way because either one of these services, one, they're going to raise their prices anyway, like they always do. And two, when whomever gets this and when it's totally settled, going to raise their prices even more. So either way, we're going to get hit.
Yeah.
It's just who do I think is the best for these properties? And I can make a case for both of them, to be honest. It just depends on what side of the properties. Like for like again for the comic type stuff, I honestly do. I think I would trust Netflix more. But from a movie perspective, and then when you have drama shows, then I would give the edge to Paramount.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm going to be in full agreement there. I do think though the money thing is the most important because the people who run Warner Brothers Discovery have a duty to make the most money for their shareholders. Now, the question is, do they make the most money in the sale, or will those stock, the stock change that they get from going from Warner Brothers, WBD to Netflix or Paramount, like which one of those is going to bring them more money in the long run? You really don't know. And I do worry because you look at what Disney's doing with The Mandalorian, right? It was a great show for the first two seasons. The third show was, third season was, not great. Not, I mean, it had a couple really bad episodes.
A couple really good episodes.
A couple really good ones. And when you have 8 episodes, like you can't have 2 really bad episodes, or in the case of 4. But but now they're trying to put it in the theater, or they might not be putting it. I don't know what's going on with the Mandalorian and Grogu, but I honestly don't care. So yeah, it's just that's my concern because I don't want to like not care about all of this. I want to be excited for the movies. I want to be, ready to go and like see it and enjoy it, and like whether I see it in the theater or go see it and in my living room. Like I just want to enjoy it more than anything. And
I will say this. Yeah. The tiebreaker for me between these two, I couldn't give a damn about the money aspect or the other thing. Whomever will say, "Hey, if if you accept this offer, we will kill this new Harry Potter series with fire." Like you have my vote.
So, all right. So whoever's like, Black Snape has got to go. Darryl's in. Anyway, no, I don't think you're wrong there, my friend. I do not think you are wrong. But okay, so it's looking at this, like this is a hostile takeover at this point. And now Skydance is trying to exert their will and be like, well, no, we're gonna go with 30, and I think it's going to end up being, 31 or more. And, there's a lot of people who are going to make a lot of money, and it's to be determined as far as what we're all going to get out of this. But the WDB stock price, like I think went up recently with all this talk. So, there might still be a window to get in on it and make a little bit of money. That is not financial advice, but something you might want to look into. Anything else you want to add to it?
No, because I'm sure we'll be back to this sometime in the future. I mean, this is the one thing. This is going to keep going even after. Like, we'll be revisiting this again. I'll just put it that way.
So before we jump, Speaking of Paramount, I'm going to do a little aside here. I'm throwing a curveball at you. Did you see the stuff about Stephen Colbert?
No.
Okay. So he was going to interview one of the Democrats who was running in the primary in whatever district in Texas for the House of Representatives. And then they recorded it, but then CBS would not let them air it because they were not going to give Jasmine Crockett equal time on Colbert. So one of the things that the way it works with broadcast television in particular is if you give someone 11 minutes, if you give one candidate 11 minutes, you have to give the other candidate. Now, here's the thing. This is two Democrats. We're not talking about the Republicans because they're talking specifically about the Democrat primary. But in what world are we defending Jasmine Crockett? Like, absolutely, she should get a chance to speak. Like,
primarily because she cancels herself out every time she speaks.
But like, the thing is then Colbert went on and then lied. And he was like, look, legal approved our script. Well, legal made him say, we're not doing this. And they put it on YouTube where, they don't have that same regulation. But he literally went out there and made it look like that. He was trying to make it look like Trump stopped it. And then that CBS was on his side, which was not the case. And it's like, that dude is so slimy. I'm so happy his show is canceled. If I were Paramount, I would just put his show on hiatus until he's done, until his contract's up. Just pay him to not, and stick him with the gag order. Be like, you can't do any interviews until your contract's up.
Yeah.
By which point everybody will forget about him.
I mean, between him and Jimmy Kimmel and somebody in like a psychotic person like Keith Olbermann, it's just, good grief, man.
Is Keith Olbermann still alive?
I guess. I don't know.
I haven't heard from him in a while.
And he used to be awesome in Sports
He
Center.
was so good on him and Rich Eisen. No, was it Rich Eisen?
Well, yeah, it was him.
And
it's like the different, like him, Rich Eisen, Stu, Dan Patrick, like all those guys. Like they all got their start, and then there's others. I mean, there's obviously Chris Berman.
Dude, as much as I love Stu, like he holds a lot of blame for the current state of talking heads in sports, and all of them having to have their catchphrase, and that being the most important thing that they do.
Well, I mean,
Booyah.
Well, let's be honest. Chris Berman started that. Like, look at some of the old Sports Center stuff. I mean, he's used some of the same phrases like his whole time there. So
yeah. So
cool is the other side of the pillow.
We'll give him the equal treatment too then, and Dick Vitale.
Dude's still 85, going strong, back, man. Baby. Like you. Honestly, if I didn't know he was 85, like I wouldn't think he's 85.
No, I used to be able to do a great "It's awesome, baby" with a capital A. But I mean, I haven't heard his voice in years, so like I think because
for several years he couldn't talk because of the cancer.
Oh, right, you're right. So I haven't watched March Madness in 2 or 3 years. Another Paramount thing, you can watch it on CBS. It's coming soon. The Mighty Red Hawk will hopefully still be undefeated by the time we get there. Okay, let's hop into our last topic of the evening. Well, it's our evening whenever you're listening to it. Hopefully you're driving safe and enjoying the show. All right, so we are at the penultimate episode, number 5, In the Name of the Mother, directed by Owen Harris, written by Hiram Martinez, Ty Mikkel, and Ira Parker. By the way, HBO, if you're listening, give all of Game. Just make Ira Parker the overall person in charge of Game of Thrones, please and thank you.
I agree with that.
One, I think I'd look forward to the interview with him as much as I look at the end of the episode, as much as I look forward to the actual episode.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, HBO. That might be of all the stuff they've done consistently through their shows. That's my favorite thing, the inside the episode. Just because, especially with someone like, especially for someone like Ira, it's like I said, we started season 3 of True Detective, and Nick Pizzolatto like him talking about the show and him talk. And again, you can tell when someone is really into something in the sense of whether it's their creation or in like True Detective or someone else's, as Ira Parker's doing with the Game of Thrones series and books, that they really appreciate that. Like they really love that. And that's why when I hear people like Disney telling writers, taking writers that aren't fans of the shows or the movies, whether it be Star Wars or if you go to Paramount and Star Trek, who, I mean, they've absolutely Indiana Jones Star Trek in a way that I don't even want to talk about. But that's why it's such a breath of fresh air to see someone like Ira Parker knowing that, you know, he loves his stuff.
Right.
And it helps. Also, this is the most important. No, this is really important. It helps that him and the staff are very talented people.
Correct.
Because yes, a lot of the stuff they take from George R.R. Martin, from dialogue to, you know, costumes and stuff or whatever you may be. However, you're talking about the camera work and production level, the cinematography, the way the sound design, all the stuff that they do in this show, the cuts, just the editing is top notch. And this episode, maybe, I'd say this episode might be the best of the bunch as far as how they interspersed scenes together from the past to the present. The catching the chaos of that Trial of Seven melee. I mean, it was done as
let's
well
talk
as anything
about the melee for a second, right? Like, so it opens with the joust and everything. The interesting thing that they did, and we're gonna talk about the difference between the book, or both the novella. Was it novella? Can we call it a book?
Novella.
Just the book.
It was a novella.
Yeah, of the novella. So this is the first like chapter or first novella of the three that got put together that they call A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, the Hedge Knight. In the Hedge Knight melee, we get to visit in with everybody's battle, and in this they made just, I think, the brilliant decision to just give it Dunk's POV.
And I told you at first I was disappointed with it,
Right?
And then I watched it again, and while it's quick, you can see what's going on. I actually watched the video. I actually watched a video of a guy breaking down. You can't always tell who's who just because some of the, you know, the attire, because it happens so quickly.
Right.
If you're not like pausing or whatever.
And they're all covered in mud.
Yeah. But
it's like the first Michael Bay Transformers.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I loved it before the first time I watched it. It was incredible. But I was disappointed to not being able to, because again, I was so focused on Dunk. I didn't pay as much attention as I should have or could have. Right. And that's why the second time I watched it, I said, oh, yes, this absolutely works just from his point of view, because it's not like they ignored everybody else.
Right.
You did get to see everybody else, but because this is Dunk's story, it made sense to focus on his point of view, but also the brilliance of having the stuff go on. So if you want to watch it a second, third, fourth, fifth time,
right,
you can look and see, okay, who's that? Is that Sir Stefan? That's Stefan. And okay, yeah. I really like that. I mean, I agree. That was the right decision to focus on his point of view.
Right. Yeah. And, you know, you do see like the major moments that they talk about. You see
right.
all of that. I also, like, kind of based on what they talked about in the last episode, you know, when he was hesitant to knight Roderick. Not Roderick. What's his name?
It's Raymond.
Raymond. Thank you. Podrick, Raymond.
Yes. I mean,
anyway,
yes,
he is the Podrick Payne of the show.
Right.
Anyway, you know, they go through that. And here's the thing: Dunk took a ton of damage in this fight, like even more than in the book. And it was necessary to get those flashbacks, and you know, him looking back at Sir Arlen and, you know, seeing what Dunk went through to become his squire
Yeah.
is heartbreaking and crazy, and like just like you understand Dunk so much better now.
Yeah, he's like a lost pup because
Yeah.
I mean he lost his best friend. He didn't have anybody else. His
Right.
mom's probably dead. Like he has nobody, and the one thing he had was he saw a guy stand up, a stranger stand up for him, and because they did such a great job casting young Dunk because he encompasses everything that Peter Claffey has encompassed as Duncan the Tall.
Yeah.
But in a 10, 15 years ago, like
Duncan the Meek.
Yeah, he still had those wide, almost almost innocent eyes. Where and it's just funny because he's from Flea Bottom. The stuff he saw, I mean, he was going to suffocate that one guy that was dying. But he was doing it out of kindness, and despite all the stuff he's gone through, he still has that almost wide-eyed, innocent, hopeful look in his eyes, and and that's why again, not gonna, as we go on, like why some of the stuff hits really hard in this episode, like especially at the end.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think the other thing that was just really powerful was Arion, the way he reacted to Dunk throughout the whole battle, because he was very like, it was really interesting because, we do have the 2020 hindsight, but the actor who plays him, Finn Bennett, or Severo Abarca, if you're listening, Pierce Brown, he talked about how like he wanted to be fast and brutal, and like you see that in like the scene, and it was in the preview, and I really wish they hadn't put it in the preview, when he threw the sword and it hit him in the thigh, in the inner thigh. Yeah, it was such a cool moment, and in the preview it made it look like Dunk just pulled the sword out, and that might have been a different take where he pulled the sword out and threw it away. But no, he ran up and pulled it back out and stabbed him again, and it's like, fuck yeah, this is the sword and sandal shit we want to see.
Yeah, and a lot of times, I mean, if you go back in the day, because I've loved sword and sandal movies since I mean, you go back to the 60s, you go back to stuff like Sinbad.
Do you like gladiator movies, Billy?
Yeah. Like, I mean, when movies show the brutality, like one of the best, again, Gladiator, the way Gladiator showed that initial battle in the beginning of the movie and the brutality of it.
Right.
I mean, it's just chaos. And this was that on a much, much smaller scale. It's one of those things you don't know where, like, how many times did like in Gladiator, Maximus gets saved by one of his guys, then he gets saved by the dog. He chops off a guy's hand to save one of his soldiers. Yeah. And in this one, Dunk was getting hit on all sides, and then on more than one occasion, Raymond, I think it was at one point it was Raymond that knocks Arion off of him, and then he gets hit again. Arion gets hit again, or later on. It's just like I would love to see a 30-minute behind the scenes just for how they film this.
Just the choreography,
just the choreography, just how they have everything set up, because there's so much going on, and and this is the thing about it. You see enough to know what's going on, but you still feel disoriented, and that is why, again, reiterating what you said, why it was the perfect choice, because Duncan in the first 10 seconds is disoriented. After he takes the lance to the stomach, he gets just like hammered in the head. So he's got a concussion. We know he's got a concussion.
Yeah, I mean, he's concussed. He might not have an eye.
Yeah. Oh yeah, his eyes closed.
He looks like Little Mac after fighting like a couple rounds and Punch Out. So like one of the interesting things here is like, and this is in the show notes, the jousting sequences are shot with brutal realism. The armor feels heavy, the impacts feel dangerous, and it all underscores the central theme of like Martin's work, especially with this story, is nobility is aspirational, but it's not guaranteed, because there is a moment where Duncan is just an animal. and he's literally fighting on instinct. He is not the loving, noble, are there no true knights in Westeros Duncan that we have seen for the last 5.5 episodes. And rightfully so, right?
Well, I will combat that with it's like saying being a good man. You can be a good man is one that is dangerous. And one
Jordan
that
Peterson.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've always thought but a good versus nice,
Right.
A good man you should be wary of.
Mm-hmm.
And not just because he's Duncan the Tall and he's, he might ride it. His horse might ride him in the battle.
Right.
But what he does, though, he's still because Duncan could have ended it by just killing Arryn.
Right.
Like Arryn was helpless once he got on top of him and, pinned his sword arm. Arryn was helpless because Dunk was too big and strong. But going back to what talking about that he still had that honor of not just going full just full animal.
He got it back, but there was a moment there where he was much more brutal than you're ever going to see him again, right? Like you get to a later book and like he's the Mystery Knight, and even then where he kind of has the reign of the non-deplore of the Mystery Knight to be a different kind of fighter, and he's still there.
I couldn't help but think when he's telling Arryn to tell him what you said. I couldn't help but think, say it,
Yeah,
Mate, because that's basically what it was.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. That is a good one. No, and I liked it too because he Arryn was like, I yield. Then he just drags him across the field and picks him up. He's like, what'd you say?
He just dragged him like a grain of a sack of
just
hay.
a sack.
A grain,
yeah.
I mean.
So anyway, all right. So after that, the horn sounds. The battle is ended. We find out that Harding and
the two
Beesbury were both killed. Now, here's the thing. We also will find out, hopefully in the next episode, what happened to the people on the other side. I will say, Darren stuck true to his word. He just fell right off his horse.
Yeah.
Which was great. But so this is all going on. They're trying to heal Dunk. I'm really curious if we're gonna get the boiling oil scene, because the chainmail is like fused into his skin. I think we got as much of that as we're gonna get, because that'll be pretty gruesome. Like on the level of oh shit, what was his name? Bruce Wayne. The guy who loved Daenerys.
Christian Bale.
No.
Are you talking about
Mormont, Jorah Mormont? No, Jorah Mormont. When Sam was cutting off the grayscale, it would be gruesome like that. And I don't think we need to necessarily see that. Just the fact that they mentioned
I don't
it
think
is enough.
We're not going to get that.
But so then Baylor comes in and Dunk snaps to it, and he pleads his fealty, tells him he's his man, and then Baylor asks Steely Pate and Raymond to help him with his helmet, and they're like, oh, it's struck. And he's it must have been from when my brother hit me with his mace, and then they take it off, and he gets kind of woozy looking, and like Matthew Lillard in Scream after getting stabbed too deep. He turns, and you see the back of his soul is just completely crushed in. Now, this is another point where it changed from the book. And the book was much more gruesome. I'm really happy they went this way, because we got this final moment where he collapses and Duncan catches him, and they have this moment together. and like all hope for Duncan dies with Baylor.
Yeah, because he keeps saying he's sorry, like it's his fault, like that all of this happened. And again, it's sometimes, and that's just good. Even good actions have consequences, but again, you can lay the blame on Arian. You can lay the blame on a bunch of things, because you can lay the blame on Baylor for not going for a more, like, because him and Lionel were not trying to kill Maker.
Right.
And when Maker strikes him, which you see this kill, what ends up being the killing blow as Dunk is pulling Arian to the judges. You can see it in the background.
Yeah.
And it's not like purposeful. It's more of the fact that it was like a reaction of getting slashed in the back, and he just turns around and just like whoever, he has no idea who it is.
Right.
So, but again, it's one of those things. It's so heartbreaking because, again, going back to Dunk and what Baylor meant to Dunk in the short time that they knew each other. He's the reason that he was able to get in the list, and he was going to be able to, challenge in the jousting and the melee and all that. And, he's the one that gives Dunk a way out, in so to speak, from basically being taken because of putting his hands on Arian, a prince of a royal prince. So it's it's like his like, just again, I'm going back to Peter Claffey, and just he has just been exceptional in this role.
And there is someone who we have not mentioned, and I do think we need to talk about Egg, because I feel like Egg played a really powerful role, like behind the scenes, cheering Duncan on and screaming for him, and like when it starts and Duncan freezes, and then Egg is like giving the warhorse cry for Thunder to take off.
Yeah.
And then Thunder hears it and goes. And it flashes back to that scene, and it was really great. And like they talked about it, they're like, even the afterthought was just like, Thunder got him going. It's like, well, Egg got Thunder going. Like, like that it was such a great payoff for that scene where Egg went and like learned how to like get the horse to go. But the yelling for him to get up, and like the pleading when they were about to blow the horn where they thought Duncan had died.
I don't even know what octave that was he reached when he was like,
right. Wag. It was like, wow. And I'm sorry, like 3 names, you're definitely gonna be a serial killer kid. But that being said, little man can act. Like little man can act. And I saw a video of on YouTube with him with hair. And I was like, oh, there's Peter Claffey. Who's that? Oh, holy shit, that's Ansel. Or Dexter Soul Ansel. It just made me laugh. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm excited to see the finale.
I'm both excited and sad.
Well, yeah, and I'm hoping that they do more. I think that they can get away without doing like the big time jumps if they want to keep Dexter
they have
involved.
Yeah, I don't want it. It's not to say that you couldn't find someone else with great chemistry like this. Right. However, I don't want this to be over with these two yet. Right. Like, I don't want to just have 6 episodes with these two.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, figure something out, guys.
Do it. I mean, they could always just like wait 4 years.
Yeah. Maybe this kid grows fast. You never know.
Sometimes they do that. Like sometimes, like when they're little like that. I don't even know how old he is. What is he, like 11 or 12?
I have no idea.
They just kind of go. But
yeah, right.
But
yeah.
So we'll see.
He's considered small for his age.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Anything else you want to add? We got to do the ratings.
I love this show.
Oh, yeah.
this episode
I'm
was.
excited to binge it all in one, especially because they're half-hour episodes.
So again, as much as I liked it, and there were issues with it, the long night episode of season 8 of Game of Thrones, or season 8, episode, I think it was episode 3. I thought that was so well done. There were some issues. Don't get me wrong. And this.
So what's your favorite episode of Game of Thrones?
I don't know if I have a favorite episode per se. My favorite battle scene, though, to me is, that kind of goes, Battle of the Bastards. That scene made me feel like this episode did with the melee. Just the confusion, the claustrophobic nature of just bodies being just piled upon one another. John being crushed like between his own men, not being able to breathe. Like the fight between not I was gonna say Jorah, but Redbeard and John Umber or John Umber. Yeah, it was John Umber. Like that's what this episode did so well. As even though I liked the long night episode with the fighting, and then you had obviously the one with Daenerys' dragons attacking. The Battle of the Bastards and this episode here were two of the best examples of showing the chaos of battle, and just the and even though there were only it's just a trial of 7 and not like thousands of people on the battlefield, it still captured just the insanity of what was going on. This is right up there with Battle of the Bastards for me as far as battle scenes, because it's tough for me to say what's my favorite Game of Thrones episode from the original series. Like House of the Dragon I really like, but like Game of Thrones the original and this are 1 and 2. And I only say Game of Thrones is 1 because it has more of a track record of. But if I'm going to do a rewatch, if I'm just like, hey, I don't know what to rewatch, I would rewatch this because of what it represents.
Yeah. So Battle of the Bastards is my favorite episode of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So,
oh, really?
Yeah. I'm glad you were talking about it. So, yeah. All right. So out of 5 brotherly blows to the back of the head, what do you give this episode?
I give this a 4.53, which is a great score. But apparently it's not.
It's not great enough. So I give this a 4.99. I loved this episode. Like I loved from beginning to end. This gave me everything I wanted to see in the 7. And the change that they made so much sense to do it that way. And it harkens back to how Martin wrote the other books.
Right.
And how it was all from, the first person point of view. It's just, it's absolutely great.
Yeah. And I do believe, I know that once this is over and I rewatch it again, like we're going to have our rating, our final ratings next week of, not just this, just the series as a whole. 6 months down the line, when we get to the summers or even we get to fall, when I rewatch this again, probably it's for a third time. It's going to be one of those shows. I think my ratings for this show is only going to go up.
Right.
It's that type of show. I know that, I know how things affect me and things that excite me. And it's one of those shows that when I rewatch, I'm going to be like, wow, because one of the things I love is true, the tenets of what it means to be a knight, which is true heroism, which is, like you said, defending the innocent,
right.
Standing up for, what is right. And, talking, we're mentioning Robert Duvall and, and just Hollywood in general, that's something that they've lost. They've again, from an overarching concept in the sense of, because there are gems out here like this. I know that. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, as a whole, they don't know what it means to be a hero, what a hero means. And this show, even like with material that has been written beforehand, like James Gunn doesn't know what it means to be a hero for
Right.
Superman. He doesn't know, because I watched the Superman that he put on screen, and that was not a hero to me.
Right.
Even though don't get me wrong, I really like the guy who plays. I think he can be phenomenal with the right director and writer.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to this show,
I'm going to disagree with that statement, but
okay, well that's fine.
Yeah,
I think he'd be a great Superman.
I just
But,
I don't think he's a good enough actor.
Oh, I think he's a fine. He's not a great. You don't have to be a great actor to be Superman. I'm not saying that, but he has the look, he has the charisma, the charm. But anyway, it's more focused on what this show is, and this show, I can't say enough good things about this show. Like, there's no subversion to it in the sense of, oh, Dunk did this or that. Like, there's no character assassination going on here. It's just showing a guy who has hope, who wants to be something, and he wants to be something that is good because he wants to help and protect and defend the innocent. He wants to live by that example.
Right.
Of Sir Arlen Pennytree, who, despite his flaws, he was a very flawed individual, as we know, but he defended the innocent.
Right.
So, and that's what Dunk wants. And I can't thank this show enough for showing that it still works. Having a character that is a true hero still works.
Right.
And the thing is, it's always worked.
Yeah.
It's just these people think that they know better. And when a show like this comes out, it shows you they don't know shit.
Right.
And thank you, Ira Parker, and all the writers behind this show for what you all have given us. And I really hope, I mean, again, this is one of those things, I'm not going to even say, oh, I hope this finale lives up to it, because it is. I just know it is.
Right.
Whether I give it a 4 or 4.5, it's going to, and then the show as a whole, I just know from what I've seen so far, it will be fine.
Right.
I love this show. That's all I have to say.
Right. Yeah, it's just, it's just one of those things where it's like they knocked it completely out of the park.
Yes.
So, all right. Oh, I give it a 4.99. Did I say that already? I think I did.
Yes,
But I just want to just say again, it's so good. All right. Well, we'll be back with the finale next week. Maybe we'll get around to finishing Fallout. I think we owe you guys that. And, well, not next week, but in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Monarch, Legacy of Monsters is coming back for season 2. So very excited about that. So I'm getting ready to start my rewatch on that.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you reminded me, because I knew it came out soon, but...
Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
I'm very, very. I'm looking forward to seeing what they give us this time around.
Yeah, me too. I think it'll be fun to see what's going on. So catch back up with the crew. So, yeah. All right. Well, on that note, thank you all for listening. We'll be back next week. And as always, be infamous. The Infamous Podcast is recorded in Kings Mills, Ohio, just north of Cincinnati. You can find new episodes every Sunday on Apple Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcast, our website, or anywhere podcasts are downloaded. This show is hosted by Darryl Jasper and me, Brian Tudor. To find more information about the show, visit us at infamouspodcast.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Infamous Podcast to keep up with the show. We also have a Patreon page, patreon.com/infamouspodcast. We have some great rewards for our patrons and are looking for help to grow the show to bring you more of the content you want to hear. Music for this podcast is provided by Michael Henry from meetmichaelhenry.com. So, whenever you're listening to us, have a great day, night, evening, weekend, whenever it is, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.